Welcome to English International, where we make learning English quick, convenient, logical, and fun. My name is Dr. Sarah. In this lesson, you will learn how to form contractions in English. Let's get started. If you are hoping to increase your fluency in English, you will need to be comfortable using contractions. So what exactly are contractions? Contractions are formed by combining two or more words into a single word. When the words are combined or contracted, we use a form of punctuation called an apostrophe. Apostrophe. The apostrophe marks the missing letter or letters. So when you see an apostrophe, that is a signal to you that the word may be a contraction. Now, contractions are great for a few reasons. First, they make speech production easier by reducing the number of sounds your mouth needs to make. And in doing so, speech can also be produced more quickly. And contractions bring a level of informality to speech. And that is why you will often hear contractions being used in casual conversations. You may be surprised, though, to hear that contractions can also be used in written English. Stick around to the end of this lesson, where I will give you the top 3 situations where it would be acceptable to use contractions in your writing. To make it easier to learn contractions, this lesson will only focus on contractions with the be verb. You will learn these contractions in both the affirmative and the negative. Let's begin with contractions with the be verb in the simple present tense. It is very common to hear contractions with the be verb. In fact, not using these contractions will often make English sound too formal. It will also affect your fluency. So, how do you form these contractions that will instantly increase your English fluency? Let's find out. First, we'll go through all of our possible subject pronouns, forming a contraction with each one. As a reminder, those include I, you, he, she, it, we, and they. Then we will look at a few sentence examples for each contraction. So to begin, we have the singular first person pronoun I plus the simple present tense of the be verb or am. And I plus am equals the contraction I'm. Here you can see that the letter A in am has been omitted, and the apostrophe that I mentioned earlier has taken its place. So the 2 syllables found in I am have been shortened to 1 syllable with I'm. Now for a few sample sentences. I am happy you are here. I'm happy you are here. I am going to a meeting. I'm going to a meeting. I am an English student. I'm an English student. Now let's move on to the second person singular pronoun you plus the simple present tense of the be verb or are. You plus are equals the contraction your. Once again, the letter A in are has been omitted and the apostrophe stands in its place. And you can see that speech production becomes simpler as the 2 words become one. Here are some examples of your. I think you are doing a great job. I think you're doing a great job. You are so funny. You're so funny. You are an English International subscriber, right? You're an English International subscriber, right? And of course, if you are not a subscriber to the channel yet, you can click on the red subscribe button right down there. Thank you. Now, one interesting thing about the contraction your is that it can be singular or plural. Think back to our choices for subject pronouns. We know that you can be singular, or meaning one person, or it can be plural. So you can say you when you are talking to a group of people. You are all doing a great job. And since both forms of you take are as their verb, they will both form the same contraction, your. So, how do you know if someone is talking to you or to the whole group? Well, you will have to rely on context clues. Those are the words around your. These will signal to you what exactly is being talked about as well as who is being talked to. Also, you'll need to rely on body language. If you're standing in a group of people, for example, but your boss looks you in the eye and says, "You're going to lead the meeting tomorrow," he or she is talking just to you, so good luck with that meeting. But if your boss says, "You're doing a great job, keep up the good work, team," and you notice that his or her eyes span the whole group, well, that's the plural form of your. So use context clues and body language to help distinguish between the singular and plural forms of your. Now, let's take a look at our third person singular pronouns altogether. They are he, she, and it. We're going to look at them together because they will all be combined with the same form of the be verb, is. And this gives us the following contractions. He plus is becomes he's. She plus is becomes she's. And it plus is becomes its. In each of these contractions, the I from the verb is has been deleted with only the letter S remaining. This makes pronunciation very easy. He's, she's, and its. Let's see a few examples. He is a good manager. He's a good manager. She is going to New York. She's going to New York. It is easy to learn contractions. It's easy to learn contractions. Next, let's take a look at the plural first person pronoun we, plus the correct form of the simple present tense of the be verb, or are. We plus are equals the contraction we're. Here again, you can see that the letter A in are has been removed and replaced by the apostrophe, thus joining the two words together. Let's see a few examples. We are taking the 5 o'clock flight. We're taking the 5 o'clock flight. We are having spaghetti for dinner. We're having spaghetti for dinner. We are learning so much. We are learning so much. And finally, let's learn the contraction that is formed by combining the third person plural pronoun they with the correct form of the simple present tense of the be verb, or are. This gives us the contraction there. By now you can probably recognize the missing letter, which is the A in are. Here are a few examples of using their. They are both engineers. They're both engineers. They are good friends. They're good friends. They are going on vacation. They're going on vacation. And there you have it, the very important and common contractions using subject pronouns and the be verb in the simple present tense. Again, they include I'm, you're, he's, she's, it's, we're, and there. Now, it is possible to use these same contractions with other verb tenses, but let's save that for another lesson. I want to end this lesson by showing you how to make these contractions negative. Let's learn that now. I plus am plus not equals I'm not. You plus are plus not equals you're not or you aren't. He plus is plus not equals he's not or he isn't. She plus is plus not equals she's not or she isn't. It plus is plus not equals it's not or it isn't. We plus are plus not equals we're not or we aren't. They plus are plus not equals they're not or they aren't. So as you can see, each of the subject pronouns can be contracted with the be verb in the negative in two ways, with one exception. With the subject I, we must say I'm not. You would never hear someone say I amn't, not even as slang. And that's largely because it's very difficult to pronounce amn't, so it never became an acceptable or desirable contraction. Otherwise, you can contract the be verb with the subject pronoun as we learned earlier. Or you can form the contraction between the be verb and the word not. In this case, the O in not is deleted and replaced by an apostrophe. So now you can form simple contractions in both the affirmative and the negative, and your English fluency just increased drastically. Great job. And last but not least, I mentioned at the beginning of the lesson that contractions are often used in spoken English. However, there are times when contractions are used in written English, and that's acceptable. Let's learn those top 3 reasons for doing so now. First, since contractions bring a level of informality to the language, when used in writing, they will bring a friendly tone. Your writing will feel more accessible or relatable to the reader. For example, if you are writing a blog, you would want to consider using contractions so your readers felt like you are talking directly to them. Secondly, contractions are used when writing dialogues. In other words, when you are reading a story in English, you will find that the author uses contractions when the characters speak. And that is because the writer wants to represent a more natural form of speech, and contractions help to achieve that goal. And third, contractions are often used in print advertisements. Since they are by their nature shorter and have less letters, contractions help to save space in advertisements and slogans. Also, advertisements need to be short, to the point, and easy to remember, and contractions help accomplish those goals. So to recap, contractions are very important because they will increase your English fluency. Also, they will help you understand native English speakers because we use them all of the time. And by using contractions, you will begin to sound more native-like too. Who knew that that little apostrophe could do so much for your English skills? Now, be sure to like, share, and of course subscribe to English International so we can continue your English language journey together. Until next time, bye-bye!